So yeah, let's get started sitting down. If you're doing this at home, make sure you're giving yourself enough space, and if you have a block or a strap that you can kind of like have on the side to assist you, especially for like the resting, the restorative poses, you can always use a bolster or something to kind of like help ease your knees or your chest or your back into like that resting position. So yeah, feel free to grab the blocks. And then in an easy seated position, with our eyes closed, your hands could be facing the ceiling or by your knees. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. So you're here physically, and you guys at home are in your office. So now honor that commitment by staying present. Take a deep inhale and a deep exhale. If a thought comes up or a sensation or a distraction, your to-do list, whatever it may be, just come back to your inhales and your exhales. Big belly breath in, lift your shoulders towards your ears, and then exhale, let them fall gently into place. Do that one more time. Feel free to roll your shoulders up and away from your ears a couple times, and then switch. Inhale fully, exhale fully. Make your way to child's pose. Walk your hands towards the right side of the mat. Come back to center, walk them to your left. Come back to center, walk your fingertips forward, and then start firing up that victory breath in through your nose, out through your nose. That audible breath. Feel it in your belly more than in your chest. Make your way to tabletop. And let's take a round of cat-cows. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze, shoulder blades together, tailbone up. Exhale, round your back, chin to chest, press your body away. Inhale. Exhale. Last round. Neutral spine. Curl your toes under and send your hips back, downward facing dog. So your feet at about hip width distance, your hands are shoulder width distance. Spread your fingers wide on the mat and sink your heels down. Press your body so that your ribs are getting closer and closer to your thighs. You guys feeling that stretch? Yeah? Walk your feet towards your hands. Flatten your back, inhale, forward fold, exhale, extended mountain pose, reach. Wiggle your feet apart. Bring your hands to your hips. Heels in, toes out. Yogi squat or goddess pose or horse pose for the guys. So shift your weight, and now I want you to place your hands and kind of do a shoulder twist. Opposite shoulder to knee. Keep going. Inhale, straighten your legs, reach both hands up, toes in. Exhale, hands at your heart center. Another yogi squat, heels out, or heels in, toes out. Engage your core, and then tiny pulses. Let's get started, right into it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Star pose, toes in, fingers wide. Take a lot of space here, and then move your hips from side to side. Inhale, look up. Exhale, hands to your hips. Wiggle your feet together. Forward fold. Flatten your back. Forward fold. Hinge at your hips. Flatten your back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Forward fold. Exhale. Flatten your back one more time. Forward fold. Exhale. Extended mountain pose. Reach. Now find your true north, and what I mean by that is ground down the four corners of your feet. Lift your toes, set them gently on the mat. Inner ankles down, outer shins in, and then from the skin to the muscle to the bones, hug it all in, look up. Forward fold, exhale. Halfway lift, plank pose. Push back into downward facing dog. Walk your dog. Bend your knees, sway your hips from side to side. Shift forward into plank. Shift forward into your tippy toes. Lower down. Lift back up. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Inhale, shift forward. Lower down, exhale. Lift up, breathe in. Down dog, breathe out. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, plank. Chaturanga, exhale. Lift back up, inhale. Downward facing dog. This could be as slow or as fast as you need it to be. Keep walking your dog here. One more time. Shift forward, inhale. Chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, lift. Down dog, exhale. Now get your big toes to touch. And now with your knees wide, bend them. Come back. And now bring your right foot outside both hands. You can stay here and shift your weight back and forth, or you can let your knee down and just feel that stretch. So listen to what your body needs today. Know when to soften and know when to intensify. Come back to center, big toes touch, knees out. Left foot outside both hands. Feel that stretch. Or modify. Back to center, big toes touch. Bend your knees. Jump into a squat. Nice. Plant your hands, wide-legged forward fold. And then shift your weight from side to side. Wiggle your feet together. Flatten your back, breathe in, forward fold, breathe out. Mountain pose, reach. Grab a wrist, side bend. Come back to center and do the same thing on the other side. Feel your side body stretching. Inhale, look up, true north. Spread your collarbones, open up your chest. Forward fold, core is tight. Halfway lift, top of the push-up. Push back into down dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, lift, down dog. Inhale, plank. Chaturanga, exhale. Lift as you breathe in. Exhale, down dog. Keep going. Chaturanga. Lift. Down dog. Plank. Chaturanga. Lift. Downward facing dog. Walk your feet towards your hands. Flatten your back, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Mountain pose, reach. Wide-legged mountain. Hands at your heart center. Nice and slow, yogi squat. Place your right hand right in front of you. Wiggle your right shoulder in. Reach towards the ceiling with your left. Just for a moment and then switch. Come back to center. Plant both hands. Pivot your feet. Wide-legged forward fold. Move your hips from side to side. Flatten your back. Wiggle your feet together. Forward fold. Hinge at your hips. Extended mountain pose. Reach. Forward fold. Exhale. Flatten your back. Breathe in. Top of the push-up. Press your hips back, down dog. Inhale, plank. Chaturanga, exhale. Lift. Downward facing dog. Match your movement to your breath. Plank, breathe in. Chaturanga, breathe out. Lift. Down dog, breathe out. Big toes touch. Right heel high. Bend your knee. Draw circles, open up that hip. Feel that release. Keep your toes flexed. Straighten your leg back up and lower down. Take the other side. Left heel high. Bend your knee. Draw circles. Straighten your leg. Downward facing dog. Walk your hands towards your feet. Flatten your back, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Mountain pose, reach. Wiggle your feet, yogi squat. Wide-legged mountain. Yogi squat. Wide-legged mountain. Yogi squat. Plant your hands, wide-legged fold. Wiggle your feet back together. Flatten, fold. Flatten, walk your hands up to plank pose. Shift forward, chaturanga. Lift right back up. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Send your hips back, downward facing dog. Lift your heels high, bend your knees low, go forward. Flatten your back. Fold. Mountain pose, reach. Mini back bend if it feels good. Forward fold. Flatten your back. Top of the push-up. Send your hips high, down dog. Shift forward, inhale. Chaturanga, exhale, lift right back up. Down dog. Let's do 5 more of those. Shift forward, plank, chaturanga. Lift, down dog. Shift forward, plank, chaturanga, down dog. Nice. Shift forward, chaturanga, lift, down dog. Shift forward, chaturanga, lift, down dog. You guys are looking great. Exhale all your air out. Walk your feet towards your hands. Hug your knees. Flatten your back. Fold. Extended mountain pose, reach. Cactus arms, back bend. Inhale, reach up, look up. Forward fold. Lift halfway, top of the push-up. Send your hips back, downward facing dog. So stretch the backs of your legs and make sure that your feet are about hip width distance here. Nice. Shift forward into plank pose. Belly is tight. Lower down, chaturanga, elbows in, lift right back up, down dog. Exhale all your air out. Let's do that one more time. Shift forward, chaturanga, lift back up, down dog. Big toes touch. Right heel high. Knee to nose. 3-legged dog. Knee to nose. 3-legged dog. Crescent lunge. Plant your foot. Back heel stays up. And then lift. Arms by your ears. 90-degree bend in your front knee. Square your hips. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Fingers wide. Come up and around. Warrior 2. So press the outside edge of that back foot, 90-degree bend in that front knee. Squeeze your belly in and up and squeeze your shoulder blades together. Pretend like you're trying to reach opposite sides of the room. Straighten your leg. Bend. Straighten. Send your hip back when you straighten and then bend. Send your hip back. Bend. Lift. Lower. Stay here. Look down at your foot and then wiggle your back foot a little bit and then come into half moon. So you can place your hand on the mat to a block or come up to your fingertips or just hover your hand here. Nice and slow. Hands at your heart center, square your hips. Airplane pose with prayer hands. So your toes are facing the mat. Nice and slow, bend that standing foot, and then take figure 4, chair. Sit as low as you can. Maybe your forearms find that leg, that foot, and then let your hands find the mat. Feel that stretch in the backs of your leg, of your standing foot. Come out of this pose the same way we came in, nice and slow. Slow and controlled. Open up. Warrior 2. Straighten your leg. Pivot your heels. Let me face you. And then wide-legged forward fold. Put your hands on your hips with a flat back, lift up, wiggle your feet together, forward fold, exhale. Flatten your back, high to low push-up. Up dog, breathe in, down dog, breathe out. Right, left heel high, knee to nose. Three-legged dog, reach, bring it in. One more time, crescent. Nice and slow. Match your movement to your breath. Let's see if you guys in here can remember what's next. What's next? No? Warrior 2. Warrior 2. You guys ready? Open up. Warrior 2. Press the outer edge of that back foot. And then straighten your legs, send your hip back, and then come back to Warrior 2. Lift, lower, lift, lower, straighten, send your hip back, Warrior 2. And now wiggle your back foot closer, look down at your front foot, half moon. So you want your shoulders to be stacked as much as possible. And remember, you can always use your mat. You don't have to hover your hand. Wherever you're at, bring your hands to your heart center and then closed hips. Your toes, your flying foot faces the carpet or the mat. Nice and slow. Micro bend in that standing foot. Figure 4 chair. Get your forearms to touch your leg, your foot, your knee. And then nice and slow, let your hands find the mat. Feel that stretch in the back of that leg. Core is tight. Your breath can help you balance here. Transition into airplane with prayer hands. Open up, half moon, nice and slow. Warrior 2. Straighten, pivot your feet, and then wide-legged forward fold. If you want more, like a deeper stretch here, you can walk your hands backwards and keep driving the crown of your head towards the mat. Nice. Bring your hands under your shoulders, hands on your hips, lift up with the flat back, wiggle your feet together. Inhale, reach up, look up wherever you're at in your mat, forward fold, exhale. Halfway lift, make your way to high push-up. Shift forward, chaturanga, lift back up, down dog. Plank. Shift forward, elbows in, chaturanga. Lift up, downward facing dog. Right heel high, knee to nose. Supported crescent, so let your back knee find the mat. Your toes could be tucked under or flat, whatever feels right. Lift your left hand up. So try to lengthen that side. Make sure that your knee doesn't go past your ankle. 2 breaths. Place both hands on the mat and stretch. Flex your toes towards your face. Walk your hands forward. Make your way to plank. Send your hips back, down dog. Plank. Chaturanga, lift. Down dog. Left side. Supported crescent. Opposite hand up. Lengthen that side of your body. Remember, you can keep your back toes tucked under or flat, whatever feels better. Plant both hands. Straighten. Walk your hands forward. Make your way to plank pose. Send your hips back, downward facing dog. Shift forward. Elbows in, chaturanga. Lift up. Down dog. Walk your feet towards your hands. Halfway lift, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Mountain pose, reach. Stretch it out. Forward fold, exhale. Lift halfway, fold, and then come all the way up. Mountain. Three-legged mountain, right knee high. So you can start here, or you can grab your toes and then open up. Utthita, standing leg raise. If you're here, you open up like a book. If you want more, you can look at your left thumb. So wherever you're at is perfect, but take a micro bend in that standing foot. And if you are gripping the mat with your toes, shift your weight towards your heels so you feel more grounded. Come back to center, lower down, shake it off, let it go, wiggle it out, nice. Left side. So you can start here, or you can lengthen, and then open up as I fall. Use your breath to ground down. Shift your weight towards your heels and then come back to center. Wiggle it out, shake it off. Inhale fully. Exhale, swan dive down. Place your right hand right in front of you. Bend your right knee. Reach towards the ceiling with your left hand. Fingers wide. Come back to center. Use your fist to kind of like tap your thighs. Squeeze your legs and then do the same thing on the left. Left knee bend, left hand right in front of you. Reach with your right. Come back to center. Flatten your back and fold 5 times. Inhaling as you flatten, folding, exhale. Inhale, exhale, hinge at your hips. Inhale, flatten, reset your spine, fold. Come all the way up, extended mountain pose, cactus arms, back bend. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Flatten, plant your hands, high to low push up. Press your heart forward, upward facing dog. Send your hips back, downward facing dog. Right heel high to the sky. Bend your knee. Draw circles with that knee. First one way, and then the other way, and then keep going and keep pressing your heels towards you until you flip over into wild thing. So you're pressing the blade edge of that left foot, and then you're on your heel is high on your right, and then you reach towards the back or towards the ceiling, whatever feels good. So it's modifying that flip dog that we usually do. Open up your chest, come back to down dog. Take side plank, left hand up. So you can modify your side plank like so. If you're here and you want more, reach your top leg up. You can even take tree legs here if you want more. Keep sending your hips high, fingers wide. 3, 2, 1, chaturanga. Up dog, breathe in, Down dog, breathe out. Left heel high. Bend your knee. Draw circles one way and then the other. And then let's transition into wild thing. So back heel stays. Oh, this fell. Back heel stays. And then blade edge of that other foot and reach up. Reach back or up, whatever feels good, not adding any pressure into your neck. Chaturanga, exhale. Upward facing dog, breathe in. Downward facing dog, breathe out. Lift your heels high. Bend your knees low, jump through your hands onto your seat, onto your back. Take reclined butterfly. Put a hand on your belly and a hand on your chest and just breathe. Take 3 breaths here. And gently try to drive your knees down so that we can get them ready for pigeon, which is a major hip opener. Make your way to your seat. And then you want to set up for pigeon. So you want your right thigh parallel to the side of your mat with your toes flexed. And then you swing your back leg around, and then you want to start with your back toes tucked under. So if this is enough, you can stay here. If you want a more resting version of the pose, you can walk your fingertips forward and let your forehead land on the mat. But try not to put all your weight on your elbows here, okay? Using your exhales to settle into this hip opener. You can always use a block to kind of rest your hip, but you want your weight equally distributed in both hips here. Now, if you want more, you can bring your front heel towards you, and then you can hook with a strap. If you have a strap at home or in your office, you can hook your foot like so and start practicing king pigeon. So you're walking your hands towards your foot like so. That's just a modification if you want that. If not, you can always try mermaid like this. Intense hip opener, so try not to force anything and use your breath. Send your breath towards your thighs to get a little bit more comfortable. Switch sides. Left thigh parallel to the side. Try to keep your hips as squared as possible here. Back toes tucked under or flat on the mat. Flex your front toe so that you're protecting your knee. And then you can stay here. Eventually, you want your shin parallel to that front of your mat. And you'll get there. And then walk your fingertips forward if you want a resting pose. If you want mermaid, you can go here. And if you have a strap, you can hook your foot and kind of transition and walk your hands towards your foot until you grab your foot. Keep breathing. And now swing your back leg around for double pigeon. First of all, straighten your legs a little bit, wiggle, shake it off. And then let's do double pigeon, any side. So you want to stack your shins, flex your toes towards each other, and then your ankle could be outside your knee if that feels good. And if it looks like this, that's fine. You can use blocks to prop your head, to prop your knees, not your head. And then kind of tilt your pelvis forward. Pick yourself up and tilt your pelvis forward. So this is also an intense hip opener. Keep your toes flexed so that your knees are protected. If this is enough sensation, you can always stay here. If not, you can walk your fingertips forward and fold. And use your exhales to kind of get closer and closer to the ground. Straighten your legs, wiggle it out. Then let's switch sides. Again, walk your fingertips forward and then lift back up. Now come into an easy seated position. If you need to wiggle your legs or straighten your legs and then bend them again into butterfly. Now let's go back to the initial meditation at the beginning of class. Place your hands on your knees, bring your right ear towards your right shoulder. Come back to center, left ear towards your left shoulder. Come back to center. And just take a deep breath in for 3, 2, 1, and sigh it out for 4, 3, 2, 1. Blink a couple times. Open up your eyes. You are done with this hip opener releasing class.